distance ranges, it's about 1.5 miles from Haena.
From where?
Haena, a lot of people call it Shipman Beach, which it's not our beach, so, but Haena, which is, you know, in Kea'au, Puna side of the Macnut Orchards. It's about 1.5 miles from the furthest in edge of the Macnut Orchards, and it's about 3 miles from the closest Panaewa homesteads lot.
You know, taper it down a little bit, because I think that we started this meeting as an educational meeting.
Where's the educational paraphernalia?
Yes.
Like all your maps and show us where the exacts and the radius and the whole chart.
All of that will be available
You
in
guys
the
should have
public
been doing
meeting
that like
on
today.
February 6th.
It's an educational thing.
It's not something, yes, for that purpose. For one thing, we live on an island. Island has just so much space on it. We can't afford something like this. We can't afford to go on our island. It's breaking up our water system. What are you going to bring up? Do you know that? Have you been educated enough on this island so that you know everything about this island? Where are you going to put that particular spot? We don't care about your education or your jobs that you're going to give us. What you just said about the jobs is, oh yeah, the Hawaiians are going to go over here and take care of that spot.
You're going to run it.
No, not run it. How much money you going to give them? And it doesn't matter how much money you're going to give them, because you haven't even educated yourself on that spot of land that you think you're going to launch your whatever on.
So,
okay, no, so it's up to you to go and educate yourself on that particular land, and then come back and tell us how educated you are with that land, and not so much with the launching, or you always, the thing that you get back from everybody that wants to build here is education and jobs, because that's your way of chunking people into what you think is the best thing for us. Education, what kind of education are you talking about? We have a lot of us are doctors, PhDs, we have master's degree, we have bachelor's degree. We're all pretty well educated. Yeah. So don't talk about education to us. You know, we can become educated and we don't care about your education, because all of this is rhetoric. What you try to do is chum us. You haven't told us anything about what you know about the land. What do you know about the land? No, let us finish. Let us finish. What do you know about the land? You tell us what you know about that land.
okay, so your point's very valid. I don't know about that.
Well, then you're going to know. Then you should know. Then you should have been educated on that particular land before you come and tell us how guaranteed we are for this day to start on our land. I mean, we don't own the land, but we do own the land. This is the only place we were born and we're raised and we're going to die on. Okay. And it's an island. Island is just so small. It's not big like the continent. Why aren't you doing it on the continent? Why? Why aren't you doing it on the continent?
I want to be sure that's the thing.
Why?
So, this is the best location to reach out to the closest to the
No, we're not closest to the equator. We're not close to the equator. Some of the continents are very close to the equator. In fact, they're right on the equator. We're not on the equator.
I didn't say that.
And we have other islands that are on the equator. Do you know about those
We're the
islands?
closest island in the United States of America. Yeah, there are Christmas Islands, a whole bunch of
We're sorry about that. We belong to the United States of America. You have to know that about us.
That's what we're doing.
Well, we don't want to belong to the United States. We're just grasping and saying we belong to the United States, which is what we're doing.
So, can I
Which is what you're doing. You're grabbing us and saying, okay, this is good because it's going to educate us. So you're coming here with a lot of rhetoric and telling us what you heard over and over and over and over again without anything new. You're not telling us what you know about the land. So can you go home and learn about the land, and come back and start talking to us?
So, You hit it, exactly, that's why we're here. We're here to learn what we need to learn. because we're
You
not-
can learn that on your own, like she says, it's Google.
No.
And you didn't pay any attention to that woman that was telling us, that was telling you about what happened to the Micronesians, because they're all over here. They're not on their island, they're over here. No, you're not that aware of it, because you don't live here. You don't live among the Micronesians that belong to another
I'm
island,
very
and then have to
familiar
come
with
to
this
this
place.
island.
I got it.
So,
So,
you know about
let's go back
them,
to
you
the
think you
premise.
know about them because you heard about them, you read about them. We live in the middle of it.
So let's go back to the original. I have two different things being told here. One is, you can't do this project and not talk to us. You have to come talk to us in order to do the project, right? You have to know what our concerns are. That's one side. The other side, I'm being told is, well, don't even come here until you've done all the research and have all the answers. You're inconsistent with each other.
No, they're not.
I think
But you're not giving us consideration.
I'm paying here, I'm letting you know.
You need to know before that, you need to go like,
You know,
I'm sure you're the
or
educated
guy
guy.
even come here and say, I want to build on this island. I want to build in this spot. What do you know about this spot? What do you know about this island? What do you know about the people that live in this island? I mean, we're just not people. We belong here. This is the only place we have. Okay? You know, people, certain people, Western people travel all over the world and, you know, it's fine with them. We don't. This is home. You know, generations of us. Do you understand that?
See, what I'm
You don't understand that.
Well, what I'm
So you
trying to
have to
tell you is-
learn about our generations before you come here and learn and try to put something like that on our
See,
island.
it's just the
Talk
opposite.
about education. You need to be educated.
It's just the opposite. This is actually a Hawaii project. University Space Flight Laboratories, students, Pisces, the state.
It's still a foreign project.
These are
It's
people
still
who
a
are,
foreign project.
these are the people who are going to be guiding this process, and
Well, they can
I'm.
go and
Your
approach is unacceptable. Your approach is unacceptable.
You're standing up here. You're not standing up here.
And I want this more, because I hear some executive.
I think she
What
was,
I have to say is in alignment with Auntie.
Yeah.
I didn't like your answer regarding the non-disclosure agreements, because non-disclosure is non-disclosure, so we're not going to know what's going on that site. But I'm in alignment with Auntie and with our other young Wahine here, because if you understand this community, you would know that we had one dump right next to our community. 2 years ago, they tried to put a waste facility next to us, and I had to threaten to sue them to shut it down. And I found out the contractor was lying to us because we traveled to their site, and we brought back the information back to our community. We have a racetrack over there, and we have Mauna Kea. And when you talk about UH came here many years ago, and I'm in alignment with what Auntie Demo said. Oh, we're only going to build this, then we build this, then we build that. Then, you know, there's an audit, they peel out a mountain. So, you know, now we're challenging it. So now our Supreme Court, of course, they didn't analyze the laws properly, so they're supporting TMT. So now they're going to take all those off. And they told us they were only going to put a certain number. So when you come here and say, oh, I'm only going to put a little launch pad, I'm going to put a little launch pad. We've heard that story. And you know what? You really got to stop coming to our communities and doing that spiel. Because, you know, I'm not being negative attacking you as a person.
Right. It's okay.
But, you know, us Hawaiians, we have heard that story. And every time they come into our community, here, the developers on Maui, we have jobs for you. And they make promises, and then they break their promises. And then the state and UH comes and backs them up, and we're under their feet. So I'm in alignment with what Auntie them said. If you're looking at the Panaewa Keokaha community, we are surrounded by pilau. Everything they put around us to them. Why us? Why this community?
They put us Hawaiians purposely.
Brother, excuse me.
And she's next, I'll let you go next.
One moment. What's your name? Craig. Come on. Yeah, just come on, bro. Come on, bro. Stopped for 20 minutes. I was a baby in Germany. My father was forced in the military. I was born in Berlin. And I've been calling my way back home ever since. You know that place won't put that fork, that Locker Lodge? I want to learn more about that place. I want to learn a lot more about that place. I'm gonna. But now it's a block proper. I'll help you. No, you won't. Don't say that. You can't help me. You can only help me one way. If you come back to this community, bring the truth. Bring the truth now. No, you don't.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to get to.
Right next to, I don't know if you understand what he was just talking to. And
You do.
look on the head.
Senior.
Do you understand that she is in our community? Since I was a little girl, I never did my grandmother. I learned how to gather in the forest out here, from the ocean all the way to the mountain. How to gather our things to do our cultural practices. We cannot just go up to Mount Hill anymore. It's no longer the same. You're wanting to put a rocket launch facility. Is it on Hawaiian homeland? Because we got thousands of Kanakamori sitting, squatting, without a home, without land. They don't need electricity. They were taught and raised without electricity. They can gather. They know how. How come they can't have their land to raise their people, their own ohana, their own family, and live in a community where it should? That's their birthright. Why aren't they given that? But yet, Mr. Project Director who lives here, Romo, yeah, I did some research on you. And then Miss Amber over here that went away to college, came back, now she's got degrees. And then Mr. Who are you, sorry?
Flynn. Yeah.
And then WH Ship. You are talking about state-funded money to run your project, right? But there's a commercial business included, right, where you folks are going to make money. I heard it's feeling like crazy because I have so much I want to say and I just want to do it. Like, I feel like I'm standing for my father who is no longer here, my tutu that is no longer here, my children who cannot stand next to me because they have to be in the school system. And learn the English ways. It hurts my heart that we have to face a briefing meeting with a panel from people who are not even from our own culture, our own blood. It's sad to see a lot of Hawaiians not on your land, yet you folks have money. You have shares in the market that trade. And are you guys not there for CBF? Continuous basalt fiber that you folks want to manufacture?
Yeah.
Is that why you're here? So you can continue to profit off of it? Because if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was like a $300 billion industry, and within the next 10 years, it's going to grow, right? Or am I making this up? Because I can tell you within the last 24 hours from hearing about this meeting, Tutu over here, Auntie was saying, all these people were saying, do your research. You can Google. Well, I Googled too. And I Googled all you guys. And more. There's so much I want to say, but I can't.
Okay.
No, I got help. But I got help. I got help. Oh my gosh. My husband had to leave. He's also a homesteader here. There's a lot of people here in our community that don't want this, because how would this benefit us when we cannot even give to our own people? That hurts my heart. You're talking about giving land for a 40 feet stupid structure, 120 by 20 foot, 120 by 60, but you're talking about putting liquids, kerosene. How is that parallel to our goals as Hawaiians, as Kanakamori? How does that help us? Was there a hangout in that spot ever? Are you aware of the lava that we just had? We don't know on this side now. There was a sinkhole that fell through yesterday. Are you aware of that?
I Googled too. I'm trying to.
Okay, yeah. You can do whatever you want. You got the money. I don't got the money. I don't got the money. I have the heart. I would die knowing that I would do my absolute best to make sure my children will continue to live off of their land, to know who they are, know where they come from, who they represent, and all their ancestors are backing them. I don't know why I flipped through Facebook, came across this, was distraught that even our community didn't know. Mahalo to Auntie Terry Napeani bringing it to the intention of the panel to open the briefing meeting to the public. So, however everybody's doing their part, just keep getting educated because they're not, by law, they cannot, they have a fiduciary right, they cannot disclose information. So keep doing it. And that's all I wanted to say. I sure have more, but right now I'm going to come on for Leo.
You know, I come from Alaska. Our cultures are different, but our Native Alaskan culture is a lot like what you have here. I do respect the elders in the community. We do that same thing in Alaska. It's similar, although not exactly the same. And I'm a white guy from New England. I know I'm not from either community. I've been in Alaska for about 40 years, and I care very much for my land, and I work with our neighbors to do the best we can. And I believe that has to happen here. That's why this project really needs to be Hawaii. I am just going to be the Space Force developer. This project is up to you. And so I appreciate the comments. I know there's been a lot of comments and probably plenty more people want to give. I really appreciate more of what do you want to learn about when we come back? Do you care? Do you want to learn about what the fuels are, where they're going to be stored? What do you want to have us?
Once you learn, then you learn something
Okay,
about us.
that's a fair
And the
call. So
things.
you come 2 weeks from now and see if I can do it, okay?
Again, you're asking for a consideration when you're not giving a
No,
consideration.
2 weeks from now.
Auntie Sandy has a question.
Okay, question. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand up. Yes, ma'am.
You talk about education, and I think Auntie Claude just said it. It should have been the other way around. You should have done your homework before you came. You should have come with brochures. You should have come with a video that showed us some of the stuff. Because people learn by seeing, not only by the talking, because for most of our lives, that's what it was. That people came, talk to us, tell us, but they never showed us. So we want to learn, truly learn. I hear a lot of people that go on Google. I teach my students, show me what it is. Show me the picture of that land, the Aina. Show us before you come and tell us, so that we can know, truly know, yes, you're going to bring us jobs. I went up to Mauna Kea, they said, how many, 50, 60 years ago, as a young child, I heard it's going to bring us jobs. Well, it was the custodian and the cook that had the jobs up there. And if we're going to educate people, our young ones, to become the engineers, more power to our Hawaiians and to our local people here. But before you come, do your homework. Don't come educate us with mouth, okay? Because we learn by action. Who you are speaks so loud, I may not hear a word you say because you never do your homework. You told us you're going to educate us. Are you really educating us? Have you educated yourself? That's what Auntie asking. Did you educate yourself before you came here? And I thank our sister there for being brave enough to sit in front of us to say, because it connects to their Aina, right? Which is all of our Aina. What happens over there affects all of us. So again, next time come with a video to show us, bring a brochure that tells us so we can see and we can know.
And that was very valuable. I appreciate it. So what I learned here is we will bring videos.
It's a bunch of lies. It's a bunch of lies.
We will bring videos of vector launches, rocket lab launches, and superstructure launches to show everybody. And we will bring a brochure with more detailed information of what the concept is. We will do that in 2 weeks.
You know, I just saw a video at Ted Bezos last week on MSN News. Anyway, it was mentioned that he has more land than anybody in the United States. So I was wondering why, and he has this aerospace program, and he mentioned that he was going to donate $1 billion every year of his personal fortune toward that program. So I was wondering, isn't any of Ted Bezos' land any good for your project? Because I was just thinking, I mean, you would have no opposition. I mean, it's hit because that's what he wants to do, and he got plenty of land, he got plenty of money to make sure your project would be successful, because that's what he wants to do, has a successful aerospace program. And I'd like to tell you about why you chose us. I'm originally from California. I've been here for 20 years. So I come from the university that claims we invented the atomic bomb. Then I had another university that said, we gave you gene splicing. They're so proud. But I'm not proud of all the things that my university have accomplished. And I hate to say that because they claim all those things. I don't donate to the alumni program. I don't mean to be nasty, but I like to tell you, this may just be my own personal thing, but what we're like here, I believe what we would like, and that's what I'm waiting for, is to be able to plant hemp so we could save our tree to make our toilet paper. That's where I'm coming from. So that's my opinion. So why not Tepizo?
So we cannot launch a rocket over populated areas.
All has been in populated
You
areas.
cannot launch over populated areas. Listen to what I say. You cannot launch a rocket over populated areas. The east side of Hawaii is the only place in Hawaii you can launch equatorial. That's why you've had so much interest. That's why you've had so many companies come.
Why is populated?
No, over populated areas. We're going to launch it, goes right over water. It doesn't go over populated areas.
So because there's fewer, so we can take out less people, it's okay.
We're expendable.
That's just the rules. You can't launch over populated areas. So
But you're not
that's
saying
why,
it's not true.
But I'm answering the question as to why here, because this is the only location in the state of Hawaii that can launch equatorial. And you are the only state in the United States of America that's that close to the equator. That's
Not in
why.
America.
That's the
You're
answer.
not in
Who
America.
owns the space?
You're not in
Who
America.
owns the space?
No.
The test, in Alaska, our environmental assessment, we launch over water as well.
You're from Alaska?
Yes.
But you're not native Alaska?
No. So we launch over water in Alaska. Alaska is really known for fishing. We have a really good salmon, pollock, and haddock area just south of us. The environmental test we've done over 20 years has indicated there's been absolutely no impact to that population of fish. And that's all I can say. That's what the studies from our study has been. And we're going to have less.
So who's doing the impact?
What's that?
Who's doing the impact?
The impact study. That's KFS, environmental, and they're a native.
Is it a native?
Hawaiian owned organization. I think they're out of Oahu, aren't they?
Yeah, they're out of Kailua.
So there's two different kinds of native Hawaiians.
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't
Mahalo i ka hele ana mai he mea pono keia a ka a'ole o ko makokau no ka aua mo'ana o keia kuleana nui no keia kuleana. Thank you for coming. This is definitely a step, the proper step in the process, you know, getting impact statements from the community and getting opinions and answering questions. But I think it's very clear that you guys are not prepared to answer any questions or to ask any questions. Like you're not prepared with pamphlets for anyone to take home, or you know, it's difficult. Your approach is very difficult to handle. Also, it's really it's your kuleana to learn about the indigenous people here. So Hawaii. Like Auntie Pua said, we have Native Hawaiians, and then we have, you know, locals. And then within Native Hawaiians, there's different classifications of that, but apparently you're walking into a community that has experienced a bunch of community trauma. So these things may not seem relevant to you when it comes to Mauna Kea or Pohakuloa, but this is very similar in terms of the value that's placed on locals and Hawaiians, but not indigenous Hawaiians. So the cost, like when we're looking at like specifics about your program, what it costs our indigenous population, not just our locals, not just Hawaiians, but the indigenous people of this place, what that costs us far outweighs the benefits. Thank you for the suggestion of economic benefit as far as jobs and education is concerned, but both the jobs and education are not in alignment with our indigenous population, with our indigenous, like Kanaka Maoli, like actual Hawaiian people of this place. So that's why there are so many no's. There's no commitment at all within your narrative to indigenous people, because we're less concerned about money and more concerned about community growth. And there's nothing in anywhere, there's no paperwork that you guys came with or anything. I mean, like, there's that, you know. So I just wanted, it's really important that you understand that when you're trying to address community involvement, there's a difference between locals and Hawaii Hawaiians. And this doesn't benefit Hawaii Hawaiians, not the jobs, not the educational, not the economic benefits. There's no benefit to indigenous Hawaii. So I just wanted to make sure that you understand that moving forward.
I appreciate that. That is important. I agree.
get his own satellite up there. And then Larry Allison owns Mokalanai. Huh? Well, the point is, well, not here.
No, speak for Kauai, not Hawaii.
I'm asking the question about remark why we have to pick Hawaii. Because
All land is Hawaiian land.
Will you don't yell at me, lady. Let me finish up. Okay. You made the comment why we were chosen is because this island is because you can't supply the population. So I was wondering, Zuckerberg owns 700 acres in Hawaii, and he wants to do that. He wants to be able to launch his own satellite in orbit or, online thing. So why have you not considered him or, Larry Ellison or all on the night? That's what I'm saying, instead of considering us, because we definitely don't want it, and I'm saying Zuckerberg wants it, and he owns the land over there.
Good comment.
Yeah, so.
Yes, good. She's not had a chance yet.
I've been sitting here listening to it. And I tell you, we are in the back of what's happening in our opposition. When you've come with the same promise that came with them, the exact same promise. Education, small, and now they want a TMT. And to listen to you give the sales pitch that everybody in this room is suffering with from the mountains. That's sacred to us. And it means nothing to you coming here, having educated yourself on our hearts. We're suffering in the courts, through the state. So to sit here and to hear who I believe is the voice of this island, and that's Anti-Poor. And I thank you, because you know what? You talk about an aching heart. This is, understand that you're coming and you're stepping on hearts that are already being challenged by the courts, by the governor. And yet, you folks can still come here and give the same promise that was given to us from the Word. And I say this, be very sensitive, because I tell you this, our ancestors, they loved, they trusted, our Queen trusted. She thought she could go back into Congress, that they were honest Americans, and she never received 30,000 signatures on a petition. 100 years later, that petition is found hidden in the archives of Washington, D.C. and given back to a woman who's doing research in the archives. You're walking in the spirit of our Queen, who was held prisoner in her own palace, who could pray, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I tell you, so when I listen to all of this, and I hear these voices who've been lamenting a long time, generation to generation, understand that. It's really powerful for us to even sit in this room, and we're not a people who get up like this. Even for me, it is so against how we were raised. We were taught to just listen, we didn't have a voice. But now we must have a voice. And I cry out for our Queen, who said, forgive them for they know not what they do. And then she's in the capital of the United States of America. Petition she's been waiting for never arrives. And then she speaks out to the congressional members of this America that is shut down right now. You know what she prophesied over them. Be not like Ahab. Our people are no different than Naboth's vineyard. And if you don't know that in the Bible, go there. Because she said to them, this may not happen in your generation, but it will come the time of your children. We're living in that time right now. And I tell you, he knows. And she said to them, mock. God is not mocked. This is mocking.
right now, laying on hearts that are already injured. Injured, and we suffer what the state has taken control over. Japan, and sacred mountain. Huh? All indigenous peoples have their sacred places, and they've been stepped over. The American Indians, same thing. Don't do that. And for those of you who have adopted Hawaii, as you adopted Alaska, it's the time. People of the land don't need to be stepped on anymore. And I thank you for coming. You who are from Mexico, I know why you chose here. Because Hilo still has been able to hang on. Some of our people taken away. Be very sensitive. You folks are coming in. We're still suffering. And we're witnessing that mountain. So don't come and make the same offers. We're here. Education what? But not one Hawaiian can go up there. And you should have more than one for the number of years they've been up there to be in a position of authority instead of still cleaning and picking up what's left behind. And so I just thank you folks for coming, and I appreciate Hawaiian speakers. We're not of that generation, you know? But just be sensitive to who you're speaking to, because we're suffering a result of promises from the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I just say something real quick? The people would just say no. And they would want to come to another meeting. They're saying no because why go to another meeting if they're to say right now no? Can we send it to you so that, you know, as shipment, because that's the land.
You can send it to shipment or drop it off at the shipment office, we'll get it to, but I can make sure to get it.
Oh, we can get it to them. If you send it to Rodrigo at Pisces or to shipment.
We go to another meeting, because the meeting he's talking about in 2 weeks, as I understand, is the public meeting.
Yeah.
Where there's going to be more information, probably there's going to be videos and brochures and all that. So if that's what you choose to do, then, you know, that's where you're going to do it. Or I was asking Peggy, if you guys need another meeting here, or over here for an intimate meeting, so we're not with the public, because we have Indigenous Maoli kind of Panaewa that we want to share with them, then we can set that up. But for the people who are saying absolutely no, for the reasons, do we just email? Do you have
You can email, probably the best email to use is info@shipment.com.
Unfortunately, Craig is from Alaska, Luke and Amber are from Honolulu, but I'm familiar with the project. I don't have any stakes on the project. Pisces is not a shareholder or a stakeholder. So I can come upon request to talk, bring some information, graphics information, yes. And I have some parts, so anybody wants to take.
Okay, then let me give you a little history. Okay, let me give you a little history.
Please.
Okay, that's what they do with us on Hawaii Homes and the development over there. You know, they put us with community development people versus the person we need to talk to. So I'm sorry, but if it's an inconvenience for you to not come back and have this private meeting with us again, then I want to know now. Because I don't want to see any, you're saying you're not even, you're Pisces, right?
No.
Pisces. Okay, so you're going to be speaking on behalf of them, is that what you're saying? You can come to a meeting, right?
Yes.
But this is addressing the concerns, are addressing to him. So my question to you is, if the community wants an intimate meeting with you again, will you be here with all the stuff that they're asking for? Because when we go to public meetings, the history is we get lost in the shuffle. So
I can always be here. I don't know about having all the information that we're learning today, because that's what we have to kind of develop. And that's not done by my company, that's done by the environmental company through the meeting on the 6th. So
By the 6th.
we were trying to do this carefully, and I will not bring misinformation to you when I tell you it's the truth. And I don't know if we can have posters and all that, but
I think that the gentleman actually brought up a good point. It's called posturing. You know, when you stand in front of a kupuna like that and speak to her, and she's speaking to you,
And you laugh.
yeah,
I
you
know
know, you
that.
have. It's called posturing. So if anything I can give that to you, you know, that's something that you need to really work on. But like, I'm asking the community again. Would you like an intimate meeting with him?
Chloe, is the no not enough? Is the no not enough?
No, because some people are sitting here and, like I said, if it is enough for you, the no, then we need to give it to the person that matters because they're doing the last
the
thing.
one, right? He's
No,
the one
no,
doing the
no,
project.
it's her.
If he doesn't want to do the project, then he's gonna need the land, right?
No. The thing is, land is not an issue.
Yeah, but if it's not her, it's somebody else, right? The med school and then everybody else gets it.
Gotta deal with that when the time
But
comes.
he's the one that wants to launch the rockets, so.
But he's done
We
with
have a question.
right now, the position that is happening right now, we're not talking Panaewa schools, we're talking about.
Yeah, we don't want to do this again, though. We're
So-
telling them no. Nobody else said yes.
I want to hear more.
What I'm saying
I want to hear
is,
more.
if you want to hear more, there was a meeting that's going to be a public meeting where the lady will address all of the stuff that they're going to have, right?
And so we have given, for the benefit of our community, so much already. Rubbish dump was mentioned, the airport, all of these things surrounding us. Now it's coming on the other side. How will it affect future use of Hawaiian homelands and putting people on the land? We're talking like King's Land. You know, it's their duty, Hawaiian homes, to put us Hawaiians back on the land. So if something is built there that doesn't allow future growth, then that's a problem.
Yeah, you got it, brother.
And how we are going to be affected by this spaceport being small now, get bigger, not spaceport, launch pad. Same as the mountain, that's our concern. And we're the ones who's always being used for the greater good of the community.
so the intention is to keep it contained, and that will contain some of the size of the rocket, so it self-defines itself down to that smaller rocket. Now, I think you were next.
And I've been listening to everybody. And for 74 years, my mom said, "You take care of the Aina take care of you." This is the kind of stuff that I want people to bring to us, that we can take care of the Aina. We don't need space rockets. We don't need telescopes. What we need it for? And they lived fine. When we supplied, we had food, we had everything that we could need. Even if we lived in a grass shack, we was happy. Today, with all this stuff that the people are bringing in, all these diseases are coming into our country, which we never had before. All the diseases that are coming, the poking frogs and whatever is coming, where? We're so strict in Hawaii to send things out, our country. But they're not sensitive to bring in stuff to our country that is going to affect our health and our lives. So we don't need people like you folks to come in and tell us we need rocket launch. What do we need one rocket launch for? What is the main purpose of that rocket launch?
To improve society.
What society? What society?
Your agricultural society.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was brought up as a farmer's daughter. We raised everything, we ate everything. We never even had to go to the store to buy anything except for our next second. I never been to a doctor until I got married. Because we didn't need one. What happened? Today everybody has to go to that. Everybody's getting cancer. Why? It's because of what people brought into our country. If we was left alone to live the way we were brought up to live, we wouldn't have all these things happening to us. Mauna Kea, It's depleting our water system. Because why do you think Hawaii is so green? Yeah? It's because Mauna Kea is feeding the earth with the water. They keep putting rockets or telescopes on that mountain, dynamiting. What you doing? You start separating the water from where it's coming from. The plantation wanted to put on our property. They wanted to put the rocket, to blast rockets. And thank God that my mother-in-law said no. Because what our profit, our business was raising watercress. And if they would dynamite that rock quarry, it would have split the water system. It would divert the water to someplace else. This is the kind of stuff we need to learn so we can survive as Hawaiians. And not bring in foreigners to tell us how to live our life. That's what had happened to us. Foreigners came in and destroyed us. They took everything away from us. Today we're not even legally a state of Hawaii. We're not a legal state of Hawaii. We are run by the provisional government.
Them guys are tough guys.
And they're all liars. In my eyes, they're all liars.
They feel their coffers.
I take my faith, my trust, I believe in the Lord. Because He is my leader. He is my guide. And He tells me what to do and what not to do. And this is a no. As far as the Lord told me. It is a no.
Raise your hand up. Hello. This meeting began with, I think, Rodrigo saying this was informational. If everything is informational, it's really wasting our time by giving information. We were told that this was going to be because we were the community's closest proximity to the land that's out there. Ule mentioned it, I'm happy because she's the young one. For me, my whole circle now has come to the point. If you believe, as Kau'i just mentioned, if you all believe it is no, the only place I believe how that's going to make a change is on the 6th or the 11th when they have a public hearing. Because that is the process. This is not a process. This is a process just to help tell us in Keoka'a and Panaewa. They're going to build a new shipment. You guys get the first crack. You know why? Because we don't go to the public hearings. Absolutely. I like you. How much look? You guys not at no public hearings. We don't show up. We mad. We piss off. But I'm going to recommend that all of you show up at that public hearing and say no, and then let's see where it goes from there. Here, they hear us say no. We need to make other guys know we said no. But the process is there. Because that public hearing, and I'm going to ask Rodrigo now that because he don't need answer. But I like you guys listen when they begin the public hearing. If that public, as a state entity, you heard this man say that they're here because the state DBED is one that's going to do it. If they're going to host that public hearing, it's got to be under administrative rules that govern the state of Hawaii and its entities. And that's going to be under Chapter 91. Chapter 91 means if you dispute whatever they say, if you say no and they come up with yes 2 years down the road, you can take them to court. If it's under Chapter 92, you can talk blah, 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 blah. You can still take them to court, but be longer. So I just would want to say, I aloha everybody being here. You come, show up at the meeting that they tell going to be the public meeting and voice your concerns there. That's the meeting that means everything. Before that, it don't mean now, means nothing. We just flapping the jaws. He wants information, yes. Give him all the information. You don't like, I don't like. Do all of that.
But it's because he gotta go back and know what they're gonna bring us for the regular meeting. How they're gonna address try to mitigate some of the things we get concerns for. But the public meeting that happens there, that public hearing that they're gonna have is where we're going to have to raise our voice and stand there, do it, everything we did, Hule in the Olelo, everybody. No means no. And you know, that's all I gotta share.
Hello, I'm Annalie Ferguson. I'm the spokesperson for Nakapuna Kiabi Kukas. First of all, an EA is not satisfactory. You need an EIS and no less if you're going to do that, because it includes the cultural impact. You should have been listening very well to Auntie Pooh when she was telling you. That whole area down there, Haiana, that's where the birth of hula is. That is our dance. It's our creation. It's our story point. Okay? So you think we're going to let you do that there? Better think again. We're all dealing with this, you know, you heard all this talk about monarchy and all this kind of stuff. We're dealing with cultural genocide, okay? But we're dealing with worse than that. We're dealing with an illegal entity. The state of Hawaii, and I'm telling all you guys here, because all you guys, I'm recording this for a reason. Because I want you guys to know that you are being informed formally. That you are trying to exploit a fraudulent situation. The state of Hawaii is a fraudulent entity. The Hawaiian Kingdom is the owner of this property and all the lands here. And no matter what the state of Hawaii thinks it's going to do, it's going to lose. So you want to join in with the state of Hawaii, you're going to lose too. I'm going to tell you that very clearly because it's already reached critical mass. It's no longer something we talk in the side room. This is something that's in every household now. Everybody understands history, even the education division of the United States is now including the illegal overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom in its history. So we can now be taught the real history. So we're faced with a dilemma because the bottom line is the state is illegal. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about it? But we cannot keep milking you guys and keep acting like we're going to keep puffing up this dead animal. It's like, you know, I look at this like a chicken that just got its head cut off. Okay? You throw them on the ground and start running around, spilling blood all over the place, chasing everybody, and everybody runs. That's what the state is. Okay? It's a chicken with a head cut off. And all it's doing is going around and spewing stuff all over, making everybody scared. You should see what they have lined up for us on Mauna Kea. $2.5 million they've appropriated just to stop us from praying on our sacred mountain. From praying. Be careful. Be very, very careful. Be mindful of what I just told you. Thank you.
Sir, I'll respond by saying thank you for sharing. I do appreciate it. And you had your hand up too, man.
I just want to let everybody know that I don't want to have the rocket there. And nobody talks about the pollution that you guys are going to be causing. And no one talks about we have earthquakes, we have tsunami, we have a lava flow. We don't need another rocket launcher to the kind to damage our island. So that's all I have to say. I'm not in favor of this.
Thank you. Were there others?
Yes, right there.
Yes, ma'am.
I also came to this meeting for information. And I must say I'm very grateful I did come because I did hear information from both sides. But as I was sitting back here, you know, I always remember a person told me, if there's a problem, find a solution for the problem or get rid of it. And so I was thinking, this is a problem. How do we get rid of it? Because I heard plenty of solutions. Uncle right here. We are just a Hawaiian community, a small group. And yes, Uncle was right. When this goes to the public, we are Hawaii. But everybody, whether they're Hawaiian or not, they're Hawaiian. And we need to let them know also what's going on here so we are all on the same page. which this small group here is saying is no. But to make that no mean something, Uncle's right, it needs to go public. That all of our people here on this island, from this whole island, from north, south, east, west, let it be known that this is a no situation. Why? I think about the fishes, the sea life, the land, the area, the ecological areas around that we may not even know is there.
So ma'am, I'll respond to it. I say that's exactly what my intention is also.
Yes.
Be here with you, tell you what I know and where we're going, give you the chance to hear before the whole public hears, start doing some research and come to that meeting. You're absolutely right, sir. That's where the official process really begins. This is just us trying to give you a heads up and let you know when the meeting's going to be. By the way, there's a website that we just started for this project. So if anybody wants to go, it's PSCHEA project. PSCHEA project. I can write that down for everybody and give it to you later on. But we just, some of the information you asked about, it's actually, there are some pictures, there are some maps, so we'll get a little more information before that February 6th meeting.
I'd like to find out from Rodrigo Romo, a representative of Pisces who is consulting for aerospace. I would like to know if you set this private meeting only to certain few. Yes or no? The rest of you were not invited. Had we not found out that this meeting was only for shipmen, DHHL leaders, who else? Other politicians? This was a private meeting. You would not have been here had we not exposed that.
Thank you, Terry.
You would have been setting precedent for an environmental assessment if you weren't outside here holding signs. That's how the environmental assessment goes through. Our Hawaiians have to understand the process, and our leaders do not speak for you. And that's what I'm here to tell you. You were used. This was a private meeting, and he just told you you were not invited.
Bill.
What you got to say?
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
I approached the community leaders of Kepa and Panaewa to discuss this, and they gave us a list of names. So they said, you should contact these people, approach them, and offer them to have a personal meeting. It's not a secret meeting, okay? There's no secrecy. They gave us a list of names, contact them, and offer them to have an in-person meeting, like Uncle Pat said. This is for us to give a chance to discuss. Please let me finish, and I'll hear what you have to say. We reached out to those members that we were recommended to. Terry was included in that distribution email. And in that email we asked, she was. So we asked the people that were addressed in that email, please extend this to other board members that you think should be in this meeting. That we were following recommendations. So it was not meant to be a secret meeting, a private meeting. It was to be an intimate meeting with representatives both of Keoka and Panaewa.